Welcome to the right side. I'm Amy Beth Shaver. It's already falling apart. I'm
What
Amy
was
Beth
that?
Shaver. It's my glasses. I was trying to put up. Oh, crap. Sorry.
Come on.
It's me. It's me.
It's not you, it's me.
So, good morning, everybody. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP trying to keep us straight. Also, I just realized the back of JP's t-shirt is awesome. A laser-like focus.
What is
I
it?
appreciate it. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. That is a quote from the day.
Bruce Lee is
Bruce
one of
Lee.
my favorites.
Bruce Lee.
Hoo-yah!
Do you remember
You wanna
watching
fight?
those shows when you were a kid?
Fight me.
I will fight you.
Why is it
Anyway.
always delayed?
I don't know, but I thought it was fantastic on Sunday afternoon to watch the Kung Fu War. I don't know. Ate hot dogs and watched our little tiny TV in the kitchen. I know.
You and your hot dogs.
I was obsessed. I am embarrassed to say. No, I'm really not embarrassed.
What's funny is I didn't even come to know Bruce Lee like through Bruce Lee. My favorite fighter was Conor McGregor growing up, and he would he would quote Bruce Lee, and I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's a pretty cool dude. Which I wonder if is Conor McGregor still running for office in Ireland?
No, he that's a whole thing. No,
Because I kind of
He wasn't
followed it along.
he wasn't allowed on the ballot.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye, England, Scotland, and Ireland. Goodbye. It was nice knowing you. So I hope you guys are doing well. We have a great show today. You know, it's Tuesday, and we're not your average show. And it also means we're going to spill the tea on Tuesday. Allegedly.
I'm going to throw up.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
It looks
Sure.
good. You can tell the weather by my hair.
By your
Not
hair.
by JP's hair.
No, my beard's a little
Mine's all
frizzy today.
poofy and windblown. Apparently, allegedly, there's supposed to be like tornadoes up in Huntsville.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what that farmer guy said.
What is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, let's wait till the break to let it out. Thank you.
Do you think they can hear that? I promise they're doing construction in the attic. It's not abs.
It's not. Although my blessed husband probably has to hear
can't
that
even hear
all day
That's going to be annoying.
for his job. It is going to be annoying, but we're going to keep a cheerful attitude, a can-do spirit, and we're going to get on with the show.
It's going to be the best day ever.
All right, listen. Guys, we have a mini tour of Twitter. Then after that, we will obviously do the montage. And then in the 11 o'clock hour, after we've taken you through all the news of the day and had a darn good time doing so, we will have allegedly. Okay, so that's the layout. That's the landscape. But first, we're going to start off with the word of the day.
You think JP did his homework?
No, JP is not going to know.
No. Do you think he has his Gen Z?
No. You
Word
got
of
your
the
Gen
day.
Z word of the day?
I may or may not.
Oh.
Okay.
Radio theater.
All right. So
All right. I've got my pen.
this word is a fun word. And I wonder if both of you want to define it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definition first.
Definition. Let me do it in my best spelling bee voice. It describes something that lasts only for a short time, fading away or disappearing quickly, such as blank favors or blank fame. It is rooted in the Latin. I can't tell you what that is. Something it means in Latin to vanish.
I know it.
Okay. All right. Allison, do you know what it is? Did you look it up?
No.
Blank
I think you
fame?
did.
I didn't.
Give me the blanks again.
Okay. Blank flavors or blank fame, or how about even disappearing ink? Could I use that?
Ghost.
Oh, well, maybe I don't. Well, I think I know
You're
it.
I bet you know.
ghosting. You're disappearing.
Let's see whose fame was just up and gone. Think about
Is it-
disappeared, vanishing, fading away.
Nancy Guthrie.
Yes, exactly.
Really?
No.
Yeah, the word of the day is Nancy Guthrie.
Word of the day.
Their name is in the name?
No.
Isn't?
But she did vanish. She disappeared. We don't know where. Oh, my word. This is going to be a thing all day.
Can y'all text in and tell us if you can hear the construction?
Yeah, please.
That sounds like.
Also, Brad from Crimestone, do you know what this word is? Allison.
I know it. You're not going to guess it.
I was going to say fleeting.
Nope. Allison, you cheated.
I did, but I still don't have the word. It looked like
evanescent.
Oh.
It looked like
remember the band Evanescent? It is like effervescent, but
isn't that
evanescent? Evanescent.
Yeah, there was a band, I think in the 90s.
Yeah. It was called Evanescence.
Oh, they did. Y'all.
And they did vanish.
I listened to a song from them on the way here.
Stop it.
It was on my shuffle. It was
That's weird.
What's their most popular
that
song? Wake Me Up Inside.
Yeah.
It popped up on my shuffle.
Oh,
okay. Well, guess what?
That's wild.
Where are they? The Way of the Dodo Bird. They have.
You stole that from Gruber.
Yes,
wait, no. Yeah, wait. No.
Gruber.
Was it Gruber or
Seth
was it
Gruber.
Pinocchio?
No, Seth Gruber. Oh, it could have been Pinocchio. They both said it, actually.
Wait, what? I missed it. I was there.
The Way of the Dodo Bird.
He kept saying that.
What does that mean? Is the dodo bird extinct?
Yes. God decided he didn't need to be here anymore.
I have a question. Remind me. It's about birds.
Okay. So evanescent, use the word in a sentence. Fading away, disappearing quickly. So evanescent flavors, like, I don't know, an ice cream shop, and their flavors fade away. They disappear. Or fame disappears. Whatever.
The Republicans' winning chances are very evanescent.
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 Effervescent.
And effervescent.
Spell it for me.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Evanescent.
Oh, what a relief it is.
It's kind of like Alka-Seltzer. That's how I see evanescent. I'm going to give you like an image. E-V-A-N-E scent. S-E-N-T. Evanescent. Congratulations. You have won the spelling bee.
All right. Some days JP would like to make like an evanescent and get up on out of here. Does that work?
Yes.
I don't know if it's a noun.
Or JP would
adjective.
JP wishes for evanescence. I bet you can say evanescence. Can you not make it plural?
Yeah, evanescence. Why would JP wish for evanescence?
You know what? What is common sense? Common sense is evanescent in the Republican Party. It has disappeared.
Common sense is yes. You
that
are
fair?
Correct.
Okay, this is a big word today, guys. But
they're just
we
futzing
know
around.
They are futzing around. You are brilliant people, and so today, just throw that word out there in a sentence wherever you are. Just throw it out there. Okay, evanescent.
All right,
And their orthography stinks too.
Y'all want a Gen Z word of the day?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Aura.
Okay.
Glow.
Your vibe.
It's a distinctive atmosphere or vibe surrounding a person.
And how do you clock someone's aura?
It's a vibe, it's just a vibe thing. I will say aura comes and goes. So like if something embarrassing happens or you do something and you lose aura, you then go into like aura debt and you got to like regain your aura for several weeks, build it back, save your aura back up. And then, if you're at a good spot and then something and you lose your aura, you go back down, you got to rebuild your aura back up.
Is there aura farming? Is that real?
Aura farming is like doing something to farm your aura. For example, like
okay, thanks for that.
If you I don't know, stand in a mysterious position to try to gain some aura, make people think, ooh, that guy's mysterious. Who is he? And then you're farming your aura, stuff like that.
Okay.
Is that what you do when you walk the mall?
Yeah. You
Try to pick up those girls. That's what we did back in the day.
We did do that.
Did you know you had to walk the mall? And when it was time for your mom to pick you up, she would like send a message to your beeper.
I didn't have a beeper.
The Huntsville Mall wasn't quite safe enough to stroll around like that.
Yeah, you didn't get the Huntsville Mall at her peak. You didn't. She wasn't. She used to be great.
And right now, I don't step in there until I have to.
Dinging.
Sorry.
But yeah, there will be moments, where I'm like, it's gonna take me like 3 weeks to regain that aura debt.
That's the
Should
funny
we
word.
have a conversation about our most embarrassing moments?
Like now? I have so many.
I have two.
I'd have to
many.
think most embarrassing. I'd have to think.
It's going to take me a minute.
revisit
Like
it.
my life is stacked with embarrassing moments. So why don't you just go first, and maybe we'll only drip this out.
Your biggest aura debt moments.
Well, I don't. One involves Shoney's. Do you even know what Shoney's is?
Yeah, I don't think I've been.
That cake was so good. What did you do?
So stupid. I don't know. We used to go to Shoney's after church. Like all of the youth group would go to Shoney's.
And do what?
We would just go eat. It's not even that funny, but I'm like at this huge table. We're in high school, I guess. Or maybe I was in middle school and there were a bunch of high schoolers there too. And my foot fell asleep while we were sitting there. And all that happened is I stood up and like I couldn't feel my foot and I hit the ground so fast in front of all these like way older kids. It was so embarrassing. But I always now like I do is my foot asleep check if I'm at an event and I've been sitting there too long, because I have nightmares about just like I think my whole ankle rolled and and all of a sudden I was under the table and everybody was staring.
That's
funny.
That's funny.
It's really not that funny, but
it's
it made me giggle.
hilarious. So I got punked. This is not it's embarrassing.
How'd you get punked?
Well, a guy called and asked me on a date. And I was kind of unfortunate in high school.
It wasn't really him.
And it wasn't really him. And I saw him the next day at school. And everybody knew I had a crush on him. And he was such a sweet guy. Anyway, so I go down the hall and he doesn't even look at me. And I'm like, well, that's normal because we don't talk to each other ever. And I was, I was a cheerleader, but in a nerd. But then by the end of the day, I was like, I told somebody I was excited about it. Well, it happened to be the person who set up the punk. She actually had her brother call and fake ask me on a date.
Abs.
And then when this boy found out, he was such a good boy. He was like, well, I want to take you out anyway. And I'm like, no, seriously, it's okay.
Oh, abs.
That was embarrassing.
That's mean.
It's
Is that
mean.
really a friend?
No, it was not a friend.
Okay.
Not a friend at all.
Wow, what a Christian school.
Let me tell you, sometimes at Christian schools, maybe the parents just send them there because the private option is not close enough.
Yeah.
You feel that?
I'll say Christian schools, some of the worst kids, like the bad kids at Christian schools may be worse than some of the public schools.
Because they've gotten sent away from every other school.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take that many. Okay. Like 1 or 2 per class. But they're there. And it happens. Our school handled it really well, generally. But yes, we ended up with some kids.
So sorry.
It's okay. But that was
So
really embarrassing. But I'm telling you, my whole life, it just stacked with embarrassing moments, which is why we all probably have well-shaped senses of humor.
Yeah.
While we laugh inappropriately.
What did I tell y'all yesterday?
What's that?
Just like the earlier you can figure out that you're not that important.
Oh,
in
it's
the
so
world,
true.
The better it is.
That's true.
It is such a freeing moment when you do know that. I had somebody I worked in an organization with. I was probably, this is like 15 years ago. And she said that to me. And at first it took me aback. It was 15 years ago. And I'm like, what? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh.
Because it's offensive at first.
It is offensive. And then at the same time you go, oh, that's the glory of the gospel. But also, yeah, I'm not that necessary. Who cares? And then you go, who cares? It's great.
Yeah.
Right?
I had to pay someone, a counselor, to tell me that. I was like 28. And she, like literally the first time I sat down with her, she looked at me and said, You are just not as important as you think you are. And I was like, oh. But thank you, Julie Sparkman. You changed my life. No lie.
Yep. Hey, and Heather Davis to the same effect, but it's been about 13 years.
Yep.
Or 10 years since I've been with her. Went over that again. Yeah, exactly. And it frees you up. And you're like, I don't really care. I care about the approval of God. That's it.
I've got two funny.
I can tell a story came to you. Okay.
I've been to thinking. I got two funny ones. Well, the second one's more funny than the first one, but the first one was when I was really young, like 5 or 6, and one of the first weddings I ever went to as a kid. I couldn't even tell you who the wedding was for, but I just remember us being in the reception, and my brothers were like, "Okay, forgive me. What's the thing? What are the things called? They throw them back. One is for the ladies.
The
One's for
bouquet and the garter.
So the bouquet and the garter, they were about to throw those, and my brothers, who were like 10 and 8 years older than me, so they're like early teen years, and I'm really young, and they were like, "Listen, hey, Justin, come here.
This is bad."
When she throws that, it's like, you need to like catch it. Go catch it." And I was like, okay. And what's funny is, like, she threw it back. I made an all-star catch. I made a diving catch. Like, I dove on the ground, caught it, and I was like, feeling myself.
Did you like jump up?
Yeah, and the whole place started laughing. Like, everybody was laughing. I remember looking back at my brothers, and they were dying laughing, and I was like, I was confused. Somebody was like, the girls were supposed to catch that one, and I didn't know. Yeah, that was the first. The second one is really funny. In 6th grade, my middle school girlfriend.
Started early.
Okay, girlfriend. It was literally just we would just hang out and kiss. Pretty much. That's the only thing middle school girlfriend was.
Hang out, big deal.
We wouldn't talk. We wouldn't talk. Pat, like,
that's worse. Stop talking. Stop.
So it was at one of our middle school dances, and we were dancing together, and the lights were low, like it was dimmed, and some song was playing. This girl was my first kiss, okay, but this one wasn't. And we were dancing, and she was like, we were like looking to the side, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna kiss her. And with it moving side to side and the lights are low, I missed her lips.
Oh no! What did you get? What did you get?
It was like her chin, like right here. I remember afterwards not knowing how to like respond, and we just kept dancing.
I mean, wait, was that the first time you tried to kiss?
No. That wasn't our first kiss, but that was my middle school girlfriend. And
JP.
I don't know if my
was this a Christian school or public school?
This was
private
school, not my Christian school I went to. And I don't even know my parents are listening.
Private school.
Not, but yeah, I missed her lips, and I was like,
"Oops!" I bet she probably didn't care. Nobody saw if it was dark.
You guys, we're getting pummeled with thunder, and up underneath, it sounds like it's my husband's clinic.
I told y'all. I think up north is actually supposed to get tornadoes.
Yeah,
well, my husband last night said, we're supposed to get weather. And y'all understand, I don't pay attention to weather anymore since my son moved out and grew up because he was my weatherman.
I'm thinking Katie Britt always reminds me when April 27th is.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, we should talk about that.
I think that was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was with Leland then.
Whoa.
Were you
on air, or were you supposed to do the show that
we
day?
were on air, and I don't know how I got home. We'll have to talk about this on Monday. Leland, we're talking about this on Monday. It was horrific. And I remember because we were in the studio and we were watching the tornado go. We were literally watching it out of the window in the distance go through Birmingham. And then it was, barreling into
scary
Tuscaloosa. It was very scary. We need to talk about that.
Scary.
But you're right. We need to just have a moment for everybody who lost loved ones, lost their homes, lost everything they had. No joke.
If I'm not mistaken, I need to go back and read Katie and Wesley's story, but I think, didn't they say like their daughter saw Jesus?
Ooh,
there's something there, like something kind of supernatural crazy happened to them.
Well, they always post that picture of them standing, with their house crumbled to the ground, and literally it's like a door frame or something that's still like, I think where they were hiding in their house was like one of the few parts of the house that stayed standing.
And yet now so much makes sense, because I read in a book a couple years ago, and I think it was The Tipping Point. I can't remember. Maybe it was one before that. But it talks about people who have faced death. And it was talking about the people in England during bombing raids who faced death and survived, had a meatier, beefier demeanor after that, because they're like, we almost died and we lived, and we're just going to go live. And that gives you an internal strength that others miss. And so I wonder.
Have y'all followed along with Ben Sass? Have we talked about that at all?
No, he's near the
My
end, is he
word,
not?
He is so near the end, but talking about facing death, I mean, he has, well, I was about to say balls to the wall, which actually isn't it's an airplane term. Okay. It's like when you push the throttle all the way up because it has these little ball bearings. Anyway. I mean, he is going to die, and he is not going out without a bang. I mean, he is making the rounds, preaching the gospel. It is pretty amazing how quickly your priorities change when you are faced with that. JP doesn't seem to think.
I was reading Brad from Crimestone sent a really funny text. I'm
God,
sorry.
It's so hard because, okay, some people think JP, they think you're like, somebody said to me the other day, and JP's like in Colorado, right?
What?
And they were so serious that they were like, he looks like he's in a totally different, and he's literally 6 feet away from us.
I'm literally right in front of you.
And so I have to look at the camera and try and be serious. And I'm talking about Ben Sass dying. And then I look over, and JP, who's doing all the producery things, is giggling. And I'm like, what?
What
do I do with this
what's
now?
Brad say?
I'm sorry. Brad just sent in. He said they made a documentary of JP's first kiss and sent in this gift. Oh, it's not playing. It's not
That's
playing.
funny.
But the guy kisses her nose.
That's
That's
well, it looked like he was trying to eat her.
that's
nose.
hilarious.
Oh, did it play on yours?
Yeah,
then?
yeah,
Oh,
it did.
Okay, it didn't play on mine. Anyways,
That's
yes.
funny.
Not my
Brad.
first kiss, Brad. Come
Brad,
on.
you're funny.
Hmm.
Okay, well, there's that. So why don't we do this before we take a quick break and do the montage on the other side? Let's take a quick tour around Twix and see what's happening in the world before we dive into the deeper stories and news of the day. And don't forget, allegedly,
The news.
the news. What's happening, JP?
Let me pull my screen up over here and we can share
Okay. I thank you.
it. All right, let's zoom in. All right, let's go to the news. Trump administration reveals 14,000 SNAP recipients own luxury cars in one red state.
I'm sorry.
All right,
Please hold. Swipe right.
hold on. Let's take a guess first before we click on it. Which red state do you think
Florida.
it is? You think it's Florida? What do you think?
Sinclair, what do you think?
Don't. Oh, Florida sounds right.
Are we
yeah,
wrong?
I'm going with Florida.
You
I'm
act
gonna
like we're
go-
wrong.
I'm gonna go Texas.
Oh,
Where's the state?
Roll it.
Where's the state?
Doesn't say.
What?
Here, let's see if this video says.
Spent just one red state. The recent dump of data, we found SNAP recipients had more than 2,000 Tesla owners, 200 Alfa Romeo owners, more than 144 that were receiving food stamps were driving Porsches. Again, this is the data dumps we're getting because before we had no accountability on any of these programs. We now are requiring accountability. The blue states are suing us. They don't want to share the data. And can you imagine, this was a red state where there is actually some taxpayer accountability. Imagine what's happening in the blue states if that's happening.
Do they say the state? I don't think they
It's
did.
It's like they're
State,
gatekeeping
One
the
Why?
state.
state.
They are gatekeeping. Now, I have to say, of all the secretaries, she is the bomb. I like her a lot.
Interesting.
She doesn't make much of a splash, but when she does, excuse me, Brooke Rollins, I know we're not friends yet, but if you could just let us know what red state that's from, because now we're going to bet a penny each.
Why? Yeah, I bet you if it was a blue state, they'd say it right out of the gate. I want to know the red
But
state.
I think we're all
What if it's Alabama?
overreacting
It's actually no. I haven't seen that many Bentley. Well, there's a lot of Bentleys in Birmingham.
because
but-
they're probably really old.
Like, oh, yeah.
Could be.
It's just old Teslas.
All right, we're gonna look in
like
the break.
40 years old.
I'm
Old
dying to know
Teslas.
what state this
That
is
was a
in.
joke.
That's a good.
Y'all, okay.
What?
We're
What?
gonna save this one because it's in the monologue
Oh.
or the montage. Excuse me.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't with that.
Oh,
I am happy about this. Corinne, dismayed that Trump wasn't shot. What is wrong? Again, a teacher.
We know.
Teachers, we love y'all, the good ones, but what is the deal?
I saw a tweet yesterday, and it actually hit me hard. It had a picture of Cole Allen, and the tweet said the reality is that 95% of the public school teachers you send your kids to agree with this guy. And I was like, that's probably true.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Hey, little other piece of information. We just got a text about this from our friends at the National
Religious
Broadcasters.
Troy
Changed their
Miller.
name. Our friend Troy Miller, who's been on the show a few times, they are suing the FCC over Jimmy Kimmel Live's comments about Melania and looking like a widow and how tacky he was. Good on them. We need to get him on the show to talk about that.
We'll reach out in the break.
Because you can't say those things.
Mm-mm.
Just can't. We'll be back.
Come back to the right side, and let's be honest, this is the moment you've tuned in for, isn't it? I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. JP's keeping us together today behind the scenes, but we're thrilled and honored to be joined by Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and Chairman of the Alabama Republican Party and Representative Scott Stothagen from Hartsville, Rainsville, right?
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
Rainsville.
I'm
You're
Rainsville.
Hartsville.
It's good to
Okay.
be here.
I wish we had more time to tell you that my dad used to moonlight at the hospital there, and I got to spend the night in the little call room. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's safe to say a lot has happened over the last couple of weeks, and this might not be what people expected, is the two of y'all sitting down right here with us. Talk us through how we got here.
Well, certainly good to be here with you guys. Thank you for having us, and certainly good here to be with the new chairman of the party. And Scott and I have had a lot of discussion over the last week since he's got elected, and he certainly has my full support. I think he's going to do a really good job, and look forward to his leadership. And I think he can bring the party together in a way that maybe somebody else couldn't. So I congratulate him on that position.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for having us on. I think it's an exciting moment from here for Alabama with the House of Representatives, our caucus, and the party coming together, and looking forward to the work that we're going to have going in the future. And it's exciting for tomorrow.
Talk to us real quickly about the party for now. Does it feel united behind you? Are you feeling good about where you're going and how everybody is lined up behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have already hit the ground running. Matter of fact, yesterday we had a meeting with all the county chairmen, kind of seeing what their needs are and what's working, what's not working. So we're literally starting from the bottom, working our way up. But the biggest thing is a team, like we have with our caucus, working as a team, and then we're going to unite that gap between the party and the legislature for us to work together, because we're all Republicans, right? So I think it's going to be a very interesting, unique situation. I'm looking forward to it.
Talk to us, if you would please, sir, about the caucus and where everybody is right now and what you guys would like to do over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the caucus is in a good position. I mean, we had a very good meeting last week, and we just need to go forward. That's what we told the caucus. And now's the time to move forward, and they're doing that. We'll have some strong legislation coming up today. The closed primary passed out of the committee, so we'll have it on the floor Thursday. That's a speaker's pick. I'm going to pick it for Thursday. So we'll get to see it on the floor. So I think we got a lot of good legislation out there, some of it in the Senate that we've passed through the House, some of it vice versa. So certainly got to get the budgets out. Passed the ETF off the floor last week. Look to get the general fund the week after spring break. So we'll kind of finish up some things we got going, but it's going well. I think the people out there will be proud of the work together with the House and the Senate and with the governor's office. So we hope to continue that and look forward to finishing up strong.
I'm curious, this question is for both of y'all, so you'll have to pass the mic back and forth, but whoever wants to answer it first, how do you view what is the proper role and partnership between the caucus and the party? There's been lots of debate about that, how much influence each should have going forward. How do you feel about the relationship?
Well, I will say, Scott and I have talked about that already, and he's got an idea that I support of getting me and the pro tem and the governor-elect together and sitting down and looking at some bills that we can all agree on. I don't think we've ever done that before, Scott, and I think it's a smart idea and gets us all on the same page. And I think that's being really proactive and trying to choose legislation that not only the party would like, but the people of Alabama.
Yeah, really excited about next quadrennium and next session, just to see us come together and work together as a team, because we're all Republicans. We have the same beliefs, right? So having that with legislation and party coming together, and hopefully, the bill package that we present to the governor, pro tem, and the speaker, we get that through, and we're really going to have like a Republican day at the Capitol, and we're going to have all the state executive members there, and that night hopefully celebrate. And it's going to be a celebration for Republicans throughout the whole entire state, and I'm looking forward to it. So, and as far as our caucus members go, they're Republicans, conservative. We're literally one of the most conservative bodies in the United States. So we're hand in hand moving forward.
Speaker Ledbetter, this question is for you. We kind of talked to some people because over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of discussion about leadership. There's been some transitions about some of the, asking people what the main complaints against leadership or you in the speaker's office specific.
Well, if you watch the show, you know that anything could happen, and it always does. And so we're thankful that one of our friends reached out, but we'll have somebody from the National Religious Broadcasters on tomorrow, either Troy or Mike, and we're thrilled about that, to comment on what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel. We ran into Troy last week at the Turning Point event, and I'm pretty sure he's still a little like those girls.
He was so...
And it did take him a second.
It took him a second, and then I was like, Troy, you've been on our show. He goes, oh. So, we know we're new. We know we're nothing. We know that. But the three of us together, it's funny because they'll sort of remember us, but they know JP. And
it was not that we weren't. JP, explain what happened. You saw the whole thing.
Oh, well, we walked up and he was kind of like standing there, and y'all always go, oh, Troy. And he looked and he was like, hey.
The blank nothing stare.
And he's like, look, and then one of y'all said, you were on our show a couple weeks ago. And he
was me.
Oh, hey. And stuck out his hand. But I think he was probably getting swarmed with a lot of people that day. And so, yeah, that's probably what it was.
We were in a weird spot. I get it.
We had just run into John Robert. We were
Holy
on our way. Holy Gabbana. Okay.
Bunk Funk.
Boonk gang. And so we were there, and then Troy was there, and then the White Rose Resistance were there. And we were just, and the men group people.
Promise Keepers.
That guy.
And John Amanchukwu was
Thank you. So it was like all a collab of the best people. And at least when people saw that we were shaking John Amanchukwu's hand, they were like, oh, they're okay.
Can I say too?
They still don't know about us, and it's fine. We'll win you over.
John about ripped my arm off.
He's a strong
because he hugged y'all, and it was the first time we met, so we shook hands. And at first he was like, "Hey, that's me," and then he just goes, "Come here, man."
I'm over here.
Like, oh.
Yeah, he's great. Oh, we need to get him on.
We do. It's funny, and the different personalities of celebrities, influencers. I don't know what you want to call them, but like. We've done an event with Pastor Rev Truth. If you followed him, John Amanchukwu, he was the one that went to libraries and read all the terrible smut or school board meetings. Did he go to libraries too?
Yeah.
And would like read the terrible books that they put in the kids sections. And he came to Hoover and did one a few years ago. So we've known him. But like we saw him in the lobby and he sees us and he's talking to somebody else. And he's like, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So we stand there.
Sweet.
And then we go over. He gives us the biggest hug. And then, JP, like their new best friends. Then we go and meet Steve Dace and Todd.
They're really not sure about us.
I don't know if we have the photo.
You know what? I'll pull it up right now if you want me to.
Okay,
because it's a
listen.
really funny picture.
It looks like we're in a police suspect lineup.
Listen, they were super friendly when we got there. And if you don't know who Steve Dace is, he's got about 500,000 followers, maybe more. But for Allison and I and Chris, he's been such an influence in our life because he combines truth and culture and faith, and he's just incredible. And so to meet him, I'll admit to it, like a little starstruck. I'm like, oh, there's Steve Dace. Keep it straight, shaver. And then Meg Basham walks in. I'm like, hello? What is my name? I don't rightly know.
You were so good, Ab. So, so
That
I
was what
turn
was running through
around
my mind.
and Steve Dace and Todd Erzin, his little sidekick, who I love, are on the back row by themselves. Yeah, there we are. Hands in pockets. Don't touch anyone.
Yeah.
Everybody act natural.
At least he's smiling.
He is smiling. But I turn around and see him on the back row. And I, of course, run back there like we're long lost friends and just sit down next to Todd and start talking. Amy Beth, I didn't even tell them I was going. I just jump up and they follow me and come over. And Amy Beth, of course, JP, I don't even know where you were. I'm like blanked out.
I had to walk around and come behind you. Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And so we're just acting like we're best friends. And then Meg Basham comes up and her and Amy Beth act like which they have known each other a long time. But it was the most casual, fun conversation with Meg Basham.
Oh, she's incredible.
Steve and Todd. And then there's like me, and I'm a little bit being silly. JP, I hope you were holding your own. Abs, I'm so glad you were there.
Well, no, you did great. It was one of those things where it's that God has given us this opportunity and suddenly we're able to meet the people who've shaped who we are. And you meet the girl right there. And I met Meg because I used to work with Larry Taunton, Ideas Have Consequences. You probably already listened to his podcast, not, of course, while you're listening to our show. Anyway, he's great, but I was able to meet Eric Metaxas and Meg Basham and a couple other people through him. And so that's how we struck up our conversation. But in person, come on now. And when I get up the nerve to text, I'm going to text like Meg because she's fearless. But it was a great day.
Yeah.
And Troy was in that room. And by that time, he realized we weren't complete crazy pants people, but just barely. So he or his cohort will be on the show tomorrow to talk about Jimmy Kimmel and their lawsuit. And that's the story. We danced through the fields and we're back again about why and how Troy Miller or somebody from National Religious Broadcasters will be on with us tomorrow, which is really cool.
It is.
They reached out.
Good. And I'm curious to see what happens with this lawsuit.
Yeah. I hope there's something to it because and this is what I wanted to ask. And I know we have to do the montage, but the real question for everybody in the room, and yes, that includes you in listener land, is when is free speech a step too far, or is it ever? I think in this case, you can make a hard case because they've already tried to kill Trump 3 times, and you go on national TV and say she has the glow of a widow, and you're dealing with unhinged people. That probably we should do something with that. But what does free speech really mean? And is the line drawn at death threats?
It wasn't really a death
or death suggestion.
This is a good conversation. Do you want to
It
play
really
the
is.
clips in the montage? I don't know if we want to play the
Oh, okay.
montage first
All
and
right.
get to it. But
Okay. Why don't we do that?
okay. Here's the montage.
Black News.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and the First Lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job. We've all been there, right?
Border Patrol, same with the president. He has a team to rely on. Can't do it all himself. And, you know, I think that some of the team may not have the fortitude that President Trump does. I think that sometimes cold feet, whether that's polling numbers or whatever, can come into play, and that's too bad.
They're scanning our faces in public places, at protests, even at our children's schools. The government is building secret databases they can go through anytime that they feel like it. They're blanketing our neighborhoods with flock cameras, and every single one of you should be saying, "What the flock?"
Oliver was in medical school taught how to separate kids from their parents so he could ask them about gender issues. And Oliver said, I am not going to do that. That is grooming.
Yeah.
If the parents have an issue, they will come and ask our advice. But I'm not going to get between a parent and their child and introduce complicated concepts that are going to be very difficult for the family to address later on. I just don't think that's right.
Yeah.
And they dinged him.
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Oops. Look, we've all said dumb stuff before. That's just dumb. But
I love the one that made me laugh the most was Tim Burchett tweeted yesterday, and of course I read it in Tim Burchett's voice, and he was like, "How did I miss 9 world wars?"
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
funny.
we're all worried about 3, but
Mm.
it's done. I mean, who does that? And then did she even correct herself? Because I can see if you're in the middle of like reading something and you're focused on whatever, and you see, but
Well,
don't we all know she's not an American? That's what it tells you.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually an old clip, but for some reason it resurfaced and it's been going viral. But it's
I'm sorry, it's funny.
I never saw it the first time, so it's pretty crazy.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
World War. Yeah. Okay. Time out. I'm really stupid. You don't have to be an American to know that we've only had 2 world wars. You're just an uneducated person. Because it just
Almost made me
has to do with the world.
Choked twice today.
You think? Okay, I'm not gonna
I'm
say
gonna
that.
keep it together.
Hmm.
Keep it together, Shaver.
You think they-
Somalia maybe doesn't. Yeah.
That's what I was. You think?
Oh,
they,
well,
you think they taught world wars? Do you think they teach world wars in Somalia? I don't know.
JP, that was so kind. No, they don't. But she's been here long enough that she ought to know. It's not World War 11. 11. Have you seen the meme of Stranger Things? Where there's a meme of, and it says, wondering if all this time it was 2. I'm like, that's funny.
That is funny.
That's funny.
I tried to watch that show. I could never really get into it.
We watched the couple of seasons and then it went weird.
Okay.
We had to give it up.
The first 3 seasons were so good. My roommates, because I had never watched it, my roommates in college had, so they literally rewatched and binged the first 3 seasons with me, and I loved it. And season 4 came out, and the episodes were like an hour 20 long, and I was like, I can't watch this. Is too much. I need the 45-minute.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing movies each episode, and I haven't watched it since. But first 3 seasons, I loved.
I agree with you. They
They're
were great.
great.
We binged 2 and 3. Like I like over the weekends when they debuted, just binged them. We're like, whatever. And then after that, got weird. I don't want to do weird. Anywho, okay. Now back to, because it is the top story from the montage today, Jimmy Kimmel saying that Melania has the glow of an expectant widow. Seems on its face. Well, I'll ask you, what was your knee-jerk reaction when you heard him say that?
I mean, it's just tacky. It's just tacky, and it's rude, and it's inhumane. I mean, there's something. I sit there and go, you're talking about a human being. You're talking about taking a human being's life and a widow who would be suffering, and you're gloating in it. But I didn't take it as like a threat, or I just took it as tacky.
How about JP?
Yeah, I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't take it as a direct threat, but It's just the smug. He knows what he's doing. He's purposefully walking the line so that he can be like, what? I didn't say he needed to assassinate the president. Like, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Do you think? Okay, here's a perfect example because Joe Biden would probably be in a situation when I say like Joe Biden is kind of like way more on the decline just physically than Trump is. That's just a fact. So if you're going to make a joke about any first lady like being an expectant widow, like it'd probably be Joe Biden more than Melania. But do you think Kimmel would have ever made a joke that Joe Biden had the look of an expectant widow? Like, no, obviously not. And if like Gutfeld or somebody made that joke, then Kimmel would be ripping him as you're driving up the political rhetoric. This is just not classy. But obviously when Kimmel does it, it's, I was just making a joke like that. Trump's so much older than Melania. What? Oh, wait, you mean the day that Trump had his third assassination attempt? Guys, well, you're taking it out of context. He knows what he's doing. It is gross. But I think the whole conversation about political rhetoric, because people point back to, certain things that Trump has said, like when he mocked Rob Reiner when he died. And there was one recently of a liberal that I can't remember. So I think it's a good conversation as a whole. But when it comes to Kimmel, like he knew what he was doing.
When he was fired or, not on the air for a couple of weeks, what did he do last time?
Last time
he did something else egregious. Do you remember? And so that made me think about that. It made me believe, like you, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is tasteless and tacky. But at this point, because you're dealing with the left, I'm interested to talk to the gentleman tomorrow about the lawsuit and their particulars. But when you're dealing with the left, when does a joke stop being a joke and become a call to action? Because it seems like some of them have taken it on as their mantle of, well, I'm going to get you, sucker, to Trump. But it still leaves that whole question of what is free speech out there for debate.
By the way, the first time was his comments right after Charlie Kirk died. Y'all remember?
Yeah.
What did he say?
It was just insensitive. I'm trying to find a direct quote. I can't remember. It sounded like he was mocking the situation. None of these have a direct quote anywhere, but yeah.
I don't know if like legally there's any ramifications here, but people have been fired for way less. And his consistent rhetoric is disturbing and it's evil and it's wrong. And they should do something about it. I think his contract runs out on the 20th or the 30th of April. And Rob Schneider was posting on X that they weren't renewing his contract and that he would be out anyway. So maybe he's actually done.
Oh.
But I don't know if like legally there's anything you can do about this one, but definitely, is it CBS? What's he on? I don't know.
ABC.
ABC can do something about it. But they probably won't.
That's actually good news, because at the same time we have this conversation, and I'm happy that, I don't know if he'll be held accountable, but I am happy that the teachers who were sad that Trump didn't die, a couple of them have been fired.
Yeah.
And so what I want to understand is when are you in legal trouble over what you've said?
Yeah.
I don't understand what that line is. Now, we have common sense. We live in reality. We would never say those things. But they had no problem firing the ladies that I've seen over the week or the weekend. So
I'm going to ask Chat GPT. Y'all keep talking, but I'm going to ask what.
Because, and I saw a couple people talking about, and that looks like there's a column somewhere drifting out there about free speech. And I remember when I wrote about this, because college used to be the place of free speech, because it was also the place where you learned how to think. And we don't know how to think anymore. And so we say whatever we want to say, but we're saying it in a heightened environment with illogical and at times deranged people. So I'm wondering, how does this end?
This is what Chat GPT says.
Oh, tell us, chat.
There are key limitations where the government can regulate speech. Incite to imminent lawless action. Speech isn't protected if it's meant to provoke immediate illegal acts and is likely to succeed. True threats. You can't make serious threats of violence against individuals or groups. Obscenity. Certain explicit sexual material isn't protected under a legal test. Defamation, including libel and slander. False statements that harm someone's reputation can lead to civil liability. Fighting words. Speech that is likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction. Time and place and manner restrictions. Government can regulate how speech occurs, not its content, if rules are content neutral, narrowly tailored. I don't know. Commercial speech, advertising and business related speech gets less protection. National security and classified information, and symbolic speech. I don't know what that is. Actions like burning a draft card can be regulated.
Okay.
So it says, bottom line, speech can be governed if it causes real harm, threatens safety, or interferes with legitimate government interests.
Okay. It's funny, as you're reading that list, I don't know about you, JP, or you, Allison, but I thought, those aren't things coming from us on the political right.
No. I'm thinking of Maxine Waters. What did she say at the every time you go to the gas station? What did she say?
Oh yeah, boy, that lady.
That's kind of the first one that I really remember where I'm like, our elected officials, the people you're supposed to look up to, the people in Washington that represent, they're literally representative of us, are saying these things. We have nowhere to go but down because we will follow and we get our cues. It's like if somebody on the left in power would actually step up and say, we have got to stop doing this. You know, Barack Obama, what a weak response. Nobody on the left has done that. We maybe could get somewhere, but it continues because, well, they're doing it.
Yeah.
All, the people in charge are doing it. Why shouldn't we?
The ends justify the means. We've removed from morality for the most part. Not all liberals. Okay. Mostly though, today we're dealing with progressive leftists. And if you're an atheist or you're basically amoral or agnostic, who cares? They don't care. But what they're doing with their speech is threatening people, and they can't do it. I'm glad you read that because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew there were limitations. I did not know the specific limitations. So that is very helpful in understanding.
It's like you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Like, that's
yeah.
I've always I really typically don't call or want people that I disagree with to be taken off the air or silenced because I just don't like. I'll just choose not to watch it or choose to keep scrolling or whatever. But if that comment was walking the line as much as possible. Like, he was so savvy to have enough plausible deniability, but also he knew what he was doing in terms of like an expectant widow. That's just gross. Like, that's just not the kind of content I like to watch, but I know there's people out there that really like that for whatever reason. I do think ABC should punish him somewhat. I don't think his show should be taken off, but I think, like, dude, you can't just say crap like that. I will say though, I have the same issue whenever like Rob Reiner dies and Trump puts out that, truth. I had the same response of like, seriously, like, really?
Yeah.
But I think on the grand scheme of things, if we're saying which side is more responsible for the overall environment, for the political rhetoric, I mean, it would be the left. That doesn't mean that the right is perfect at it, but I think overall, if we're keeping score, I think the left definitely has more responsibility with it.
Well said. Okay, then.
Oh, I will say, well, before we move on, we got a
sir.
couple of minutes. Kay Ivey. I was actually surprised. We don't get statements from Kay Ivey about stuff like this often, but she put up a statement about this saying, our first lady is spot on in calling out the hateful and disgusting performance by Jimmy Kimmel. I'm sure ABC could find a much funnier replacement. And here's a thought: someone who does not joke about assassinating our president.
You missed the amen.
Amen.
Not all women.
no.
You remember that one a few years ago?
Yeah, I do.
Where the crazy leftists were like, I mean, why don't we say amen? Why don't we say a women? Legit.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Really?
Legit.
I missed that. Thank you, Kay Ivey. That makes sense.
Or whoever wrote them. So.
Yeah.
Gina.
I was thinking the exact same thing. That was
Remember?
Yes. By
Charles.
The mm-hmm.
The first of doing
Charles.
And Gina. Melina.
Gina with a cool last name.
Yeah.
She cool last name.
Office.
Great press release. And thank you for that. So there you go. Okay. So when we come back, there's a couple other things from the montage. Greg Bovino, former U.S. border chief.
Okay. That's who that, I didn't know who that was.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Dr. Oz, medical schools. We've talked about Ilhan 11 Omar and Lauren Boebert scanning our faces, which no one's surprised by, but I'm happy they're doing something about it. But it did make me look up some statistics on surveillance in general. I had questions.
And y'all still scan your faces at the airport.
Allison, they already have our bunks made out for us.
Yeah,
at
but
camp.
if you could just get one less on record, why wouldn't you try?
I know, you're right.
Someday, y'all will join the resistance like me. Put your foot down. We'll be back. One of the issues that came up repeatedly was just the push for gambling, which I think is just kind of across the board. One person said, though, that too often the priority seems to go to bills backed by special interests or those closest to leadership rather than allowing a fair, open process where conservative priorities rise naturally. What do you say to those criticizing you and the agenda of leadership? Because if you look, you have passed some really conservative things over the past quadrennium.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the record of this last quadrennium, I mean, it doesn't, just look at what's been passed. There's no question this is the most conservative quadrennium this state's ever had, period. If you look at my record as Speaker and Majority Leader, it's the most conservative the state's ever had. I mean, all you got to do is look at what we've passed. If it's DEI or if it's, the Choose Act or whatever, which we led the charge on helping getting that passed. It was a pick. And a lot of things with Scott passed, the boys and girls bathroom thing. I mean, this has been the most conservative 4 years that we've had. And as far as the special interest group, they all stay in my office and they'd know more about what they're talking about. Because there was two of them in there Friday, and I told them no. And one of them was Alpha on an ambulance bill that I think could serve rural Alabama very well. And the same thing with Blue Cross and those people. We tell them no more than we tell them yes. And so I think people that says that need to probably work a little bit harder to figure out what is going on, and they wouldn't have to make statements like that.
So then on the heels of that question, what did it mean to have 75 members of the House, Tuberville, support you?
It's humbling. I mean, it really is. I didn't ask for that. I mean, they did that on their own. And of course, Coach has been a friend of mine for a long time. I chaired his U.S. Senate race. And so, but to have that many members and Scott being one of them that signed that document, it was very humbling. I mean, it really was. And, the thing about it is, I think it's easy sometimes for people to say negative stuff about people they don't know. And the problem with that is it doesn't just affect the person you're talking about, it affects their family. Whether it's their grandkids or their wife or their kids. And sometimes I think we have to be mindful of that. So, to see after on the backside of it, to see that and to see our members come together and support me, it's really, really humbling.
It's hard. It is hard being on the outside. We're not privy to a lot of the discussions that are had in the halls. And hopefully this can be kind of a transition point of inflection for Alabama, for the legislature, for the party, for the people. And that's a question I have for both of y'all. Is this a turning point for the state of Alabama? It felt a little bit like crossing the Delaware. We were like, oh, we're in new territory. And then being here today, I mean, this is huge to see y'all sitting down together, kind of tackling this head on. I know the people of Alabama will appreciate that. But moving forward, and you mentioned a little bit plans to open up discussions. What can you expand a little bit more on that? How is this different And how are we going to put this behind us?
Yeah. So, I mean, our caucus has always been together, right? So we are a team. We're kind of like an executive session when we're in caucus. So the things that we discuss and things we talk about are with us and our team. As far as moving forward in the future, I think, with the party members of GOP and then our caucus, I mean, once again, we're all Republicans. We're all on the same team. Some of us serve at a different capacity than others. Some are more vocal than others in the party side. And we've got to respect different personalities. Y'all just had Ernie Yarbrough on the show for crying out loud. He's a different personality, right? So he is very passionate about his beliefs. And you just got different. It's like a family.
Hello. How are you? Welcome back. This is the 11 o'clock hour, and you found the right side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are just lining up guests for you for tomorrow and then again on Friday. But now we are going to jump into conversations about a couple of other things on the list from the montage. Also, it's raining. Is it raining where you are?
It is so loud.
Is it pouring? Also, are you having work done at your place too? Because we are. We're sorry if you hear like drills and
Did
stuff.
you hear that? Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Are you?
My mic was off. I didn't know y'all would hear it.
I could heard it because I have supersonic mom
could
ears.
Heard it.
I could heard it.
She could heard it.
And the boots with the fur. Anyway, that rhymed sort of in my mind. All right. Number 1. So Greg Bavino. This is a guy.
It's the dude in the tight t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it with the military people in the tight t-shirts?
I think their muscles are so big they can't help it.
No, that's such a lie.
Is it because they
get
like their
schmediums.
bodies?
They get schmediums. Yeah.
They
On
get
purpose?
schmediums
Yes.
to show off?
Obviously.
Well, I mean,
We're not men. We don't think that way.
but if you have giant biceps, okay, but you have a tiny abdominal section, you don't want like it to fit your biceps, but then just be like hanging on
Flapping
your,
in the breeze.
Yeah.
No, they get schmediums.
Okay, schmedium. I love that.
Well, I wanted to go up and
Schmedium.
like stretch his arms.
Like, did your wife see you before you left? Anyway,
Anywho.
because you know what? In our house, the problem is if I don't get XLT, t-shirts are short on my husband. And so I was
like a crop top. On
yeah,
Chris.
and that's just no. Like super cute on no. Let me tell you something. I have cropped some tops by accident.
You crop some tops.
Yeah. But we don't get off the rack because we can't find anything that fits him. So I was very attuned to Greg Bavino's super tight schmedium.
Hold up. It's not because Chris is. It's because he's tall.
Oh
not
no,
'cause
he's
long. Yeah.
he's very thin.
He's
He's
like
muscular
8
and,
feet tall.
and very tall.
Maybe 9.
And I think he's 9 foot tall. He's like in Goliath's family. He says that he's a Viking. He's
a
descended from
Nephilim.
Viking. Anyway, he's tall. All right. And I'm not good at laundry, and I've shrunk some of his shirts. Turns out he needs XLT to go long enough. So they're not crop tops because he doesn't want to wear a crop top either. He wants a regular top. But I'm very attuned to when men wear too tight t-shirts. Okay. Girls too, but mainly dudes because ew.
Well, what was he? Okay, we're getting lost in the t-shirt, but who was he talking to and what was he talking about?
So he was talking about the mass deportations, and this will be interesting to y'all because he said they've slowed down due to aspects within the Trump administration lacking fortitude and willpower, thus getting cold feet, likely due to unpopular polling and politics. But he said Trump was with him. And Trump wanted him to do what he was doing. But Trump was getting pulled from the back of Trump's t-shirt, and they were pulling him back. Who do you think those people are? I don't know. That's A. But to the deportation conversation, he alleged that there are still, like, did he say in the clip 100 million? But I mean, he used a massive number. I think he probably meant hundreds of thousands still coming over the border.
What?
He said
the border was closed.
I did too, but he made some allegations in that, and I would think that the border chief knows. But he said the border or the mass deportations have stopped because within the Trump admin, there is a lack of willpower, and that is concerning.
Is there a longer clip of that?
Yeah, I can.
And I've got it too if you want on Twitter.
Because I thought the border was pretty much closed.
I did too.
And have we funded the Border Patrol and ICE yet? Or is that still like nobody wants to do anything?
Well, they passed it really skinny in the Senate, and they're hoping that the House funds the rest. So it's going back to the House. I believe it was only 140 billion that the Senate approved.
And don't forget that when this man is talking about the border and deportations, don't forget that the Dignity Act last week, remember that 6 Republicans voted to maintain temporary protected status for the Haitians. That's 300,000 people.
I got a, let's see how long. This is like a 2.5 minute clip.
Yeah, it's a longer clip, but he has more time to explain.
We've all got the team that we have. When I joined El Centro sector as the chief, I had my team.
Right.
And I had to rely on my team. No doubt. You can't do it yourself. Your camera crews and your team, you have to rely on your team. Same with the Border Patrol, same with the president. He has a team to rely on. Can't do it all himself. And, I think that some of the team may not have the fortitude that President Trump does. Trump's the best deporter that I've ever worked for.
Right.
Some said that Hussein Obama deported more people. Remember, that's a misnomer because he counted Border Patrol apprehension numbers right at the border and said, see, we caught several million that year. So let's don't give him too much credit for that. But Trump's the best I ever worked for. We started off the very best. I mean, look, we went to Los Angeles and absolutely hammered it in Los Angeles. Absolutely hammered it. Same thing with Chicago. Then Charlotte. Let me tell you what, Charlotte was off the hook, folks.
Really?
Our highest one-day apprehension rate was Charlotte, North Carolina. That place was off the hook. And, I felt that we had President Trump. Notice I didn't say any of his other team there. President Trump was behind us. I heard from Secretary Noem, Mr. Lewandowski, hey, President likes what you're doing.
Nice.
Doing a good job. So that let me know. But, everybody's got their team they're working for. And, I think that sometimes cold feet, whether that's polling numbers or whatever, can come into play. And that's too bad because, again, this is for America. I don't give a damn about the polling numbers.
Yeah.
Let me say that again
this is what we voted for. We voted for mass deportation.
Exactly. I don't go into cities to arrest illegal aliens based on polling numbers. I do that as a Border Patrol chief. And those Border Patrol agents, those are some of the greatest patriots I've ever worked alongside. I should never have been able to do that, especially at my age. I'm old. I'm a dinosaur. They even called me oil in the ground. I wasn't even a fossil. They say, sir, you're oil in the ground. But you know what? When you're standing shoulder to shoulder with those folks that did that, again, some of them were there for a year and were up against that for an entire year. They were fully committed. There was no backing down whatsoever from those Border Patrol agents. That motivated me.
Nice.
And you know what? I think that motivated President Trump to some extent. I know it motivated Kristi Noem and some of the others. So, his crew there, maybe they need to get out in the fight with us and experience just what that's like. And maybe that would motivate them also.
Yeah.
So he's still an agent or team lead, or he left?
He's not anymore. I don't know what he's currently doing.
And did he leave because they weren't being effective and he couldn't handle the administration anymore? Or because I'm shocked he's talking like that.
He announced his retirement in March 2026. It says, following intense scrutiny over his leadership and controversial, aggressive immigration enforcement operations. So he retired on his own.
So I was trying to see if he had any numbers.
And so,
okay, I do have.
It was also after the Alex Pretty incident.
Okay. So I think the Air Force Post. I think that's right. I think that looks like that's what that is.
Air Force, American. I think it's America First Post.
Is it America First Post? Sorry, got Air Force friends. That looks like something they would put out anyway. Greg Bovino says he believes President Trump supported his goal of 100 million deportations. That's where that number came from. So I thought he was fantastic, but some people have him as former and others have him still working. I don't know, but that's an interesting interview. But it goes back to what we have all talked about before, where we went deport, 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 and all of a sudden stop. And we're wondering what happened. And it seems like it's because of the inner circle and this stupid thing called midterms.
Yeah, and this is on the heels of I actually was listening to Steve Deace yesterday and talking about how Maha is probably at the end of its ropes, that they've done all they can do, and that people are beginning to be very disillusioned. Robert Malone stepped down from like the advisory board or the commission or something because he was like, this isn't what I signed up for. Like, this isn't, y'all aren't doing anything. Now, that's not to take away from some of the great things they have done, but like, okay, the food pyramid, the vaccine schedule, the dyes and artificial colorings things. But it's like, we can only win so much. And then somebody puts the brakes on it. I'd like to think it's not President Trump, but at the end of the day, isn't it his decision?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And I would actually argue because Tom Homan, he even said it at a Turning Point event with Benny Johnson last week, that President Trump called him personally after the Alex Preddy and Renee Good incident in Minneapolis or Minnesota, and was like, you need to go and calm things down, over there. And I think the shift changed after that from Trump himself saying that we want to deport the criminal illegal aliens. So I think maybe at a time Trump was for the mass deportations, like Bovino is saying, and maybe his inner circle convinced him. But I do think Trump is along on that bandwagon right now. And like I said, he may have been convinced by the Susie Wildeses and the others. But I do think Trump is with them, lockstep with them in this, unfortunately.
That's disappointing. Any chance he's doing anything quietly? Like I heard today that Ilhan 11 Omar's fake home state is being raided for deportations.
Yeah.
Which is great. But I wonder, it made me wonder if anything is quietly going on, or with the media that we have today, there's no chance of that because they can't wait to see Trump fail and they can't let him succeed in anything. Meanwhile, they're trying to swamp him down in his own cabinet, it feels like sometimes when it comes to this issue.
I'm going to kind of think out loud for a second, and I don't really know what I'm trying to get at. So help me out here, because this is the circle of trust, and we
listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, we're just processing with y'all. But like, Trump obviously cannot run for president of the United States again. And when I say Trump is a selfish person, I think everybody can probably agree. Trump is all about Trump. He always has been. Now, for a while, our goals have been the same. But I'm kind of surprised, for you to say, okay, if he really wanted to do it, I think he would say, screw the midterms. I'm not even on the ballot. Like, why do I even care? These people, they haven't even the ones that have been loyal, and so I'm kind of surprised. Why wouldn't you just go and do it?
Mm-hmm.
So is he not what we thought he was?
I think that's always a possibility.
And he might just be tired too. That's the other thing. Like, okay, I just got shot at again. Like, come on, I'm tired. I don't even care anymore. Whatever. Go to hell in a handbasket and take that champagne that you were stealing off the table at the correspondence dinner with you.
I mean, that was such an intern. Well, she was too old to be an intern, the one I saw. I do believe there could be part of I'm exhausted. I'm trying so hard here. I can make nobody happy. I'm, not doing a lot of things great right now, but
good luck, America.
Good luck. They keep trying to kill me. They wouldn't keep trying to kill me if I weren't doing something really well.
True.
So I don't know. So there's that.
Trump is a conundrum.
That's a great word.
He's very effervescent. Evanescent. Evanescence.
It's a good word.
Effortless. And efficient.
All the things.
All the things. JP, what were you looking for?
Oh yeah. So this was 2 hours ago. The FBI is currently raiding Minneapolis in the Leering Center, along with more than 22 raids as part of a sweeping fraud investigation in Minnesota. So maybe we're getting progress with this.
Maybe. I'm happy for that. What?
What else do we need to raid and find out? Like, it's like, is this political theater?
It could be.
You don't think they've destroyed everything by now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has been 5 months. 4.
Maybe they were lulling them to sleep to think, nothing's going to happen. And then, bam, here we are. I don't know. I think some of them didn't think they'd ever get caught. Some of them have packed up whatever they did have in those buildings and they left. But wow.
Joel, right before the 28th assassination attempt, I don't even know what it was at this point. 3. There were rumors swirling that like Kash Patel was about to be fired, and that quickly stopped. Then Kash Patel's not on the hit list of the shooter. Kind of interesting. Do you think, is Kash Patel doing this to cover his butt right now, to kind of look busy like he did the Southern poverty laws? And there was a point made about that lawsuit, and this is so interesting. The SPLC lawsuit, if you look it up, it actually is like the United States versus the SPLC. How do you put an organization in jail? Like, it doesn't list certain individuals. That's interesting to me. Wouldn't you put, like, most of the time it is individuals. I think that might be something to pay attention to. But anyway, is Kash Patel just trying to quick look busy? They're coming for me?
I don't know, because there's been I saw Meg Basham online yesterday suggest that there haven't been any receipts about the allegations made about Kash.
Wait, what do you mean?
That there have been no pictures of him drunk. There have been no receipts of boozy dinners. There hasn't been any there. The suggestion was that because he did the SPLC, because they are raiding, because news may come out about other officials. And I don't think he has nothing to do with, I don't think, what's going on with all the scientists that have disappeared. They've evanescence. I don't know how to say that.
Effervescence.
They're gone. I think it has to do with other things that he's doing. And that's why they're saying that about him. But I have been looking for any kind of evidence that he was drunk on the job, and I can't find it.
I wasn't even thinking about that. They're all drunk on the job.
Exactly. They come back and vote for big things wasted.
Yes. Do you not remember? Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to say that. But yes, they're all drunk on the job.
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking, like, this is about when Trump starts getting tired of people.
Good point.
We've seen it already. And he hasn't really done much, but maybe he lives to see another day. And
I don't know.
He's starting to.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We
will see.
Okay. So, Dr. Oz in American medical schools, teaching kids how to separate students how to separate kids from their parents and talk to them about gender issues as they're on rotations. There we go again. And in a side note to that, also remember that there's a foreign takeover of medicine and the spots that are going to foreign-born students versus American students. Medical school, residency, fellowship, disastrous right now from all accounts. But from Dr. Oz, because his own son is in residency are in medical school going through this right now. Who is surprised by this?
Nobody. And I cannot wait. I have a son who is like we have so many kids that I feel like we're raising. He's like my 12th child. He's in medical school right now. I won't say where. Once he gets out, he's like, Allison, I'm coming to do a total expose on what is happening in these medical schools. Y'all will die. Y'all will die. And you should be very afraid when you go to the doctor in the next few years of the physicians and the surgeons that will be operating.
Ugh.
Now, some of them won't make it out. And actually, they know they won't make it out, but they have to meet that quota. But it is terrifying. So I'm not surprised at all. I think it's worse. I don't know why I'm laughing. I think it's worse than we can possibly imagine.
Great.
Possibly imagine.
It's great. Thank you.
Like go to the very end of how bad and then go 10 more steps.
Well, my husband will never retire. That's not great.
Yeah, go find yourself a doctor that's like 50 and up. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would.
Maybe
40 and up.
Yeah.
But you do wonder when you read that DEI is all through medical schools today, and you think, what does that have to do with anything? I want my health taken care of by a competent individual. Leave their ethnicity out of it. That's so shallow and foolish.
And dangerous.
And disrespectful to the dignity of like each human life. So I can't wait for his expose.
Yeah, but I'm the ones that screw because I'm going to have to take my kids to the doctors that are being taught and brought through the medical school now.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to just
Sorry, JP.
find, we used to kind of assume, you're in Shelby County, you're in Birmingham, you're whatever, you're a good doctor. That's fine. It mainly was like a personality test. Do you like that pediatrician? Do you kind of whatever? Now it's like,
do you know what a man is? Do you know what a woman is?
This is a stethoscope. Have you used one before?
What is your name?
So it is really actually very, very scary. And, we kind of laugh about it. Like me getting on the plane, heading back from Dallas and making sure there are two men in the front seat of the airplane.
It's real.
Low key, not joking. Low key.
We're too old to joke about that.
I don't care what color you are. Honestly, I don't really care. If you are a woman and you are the most qualified, go for it. If you're purple I don't care. But like when on the side of the Delta planes, it touts like how they're the world's best in DEI. I'm kind of backing up.
No.
Maybe don't sport that one so much.
When you see DEI, we know it's just surface deep. That's all. It means nothing except it could wreck your lives. That's all.
You could die.
Yep. So Allison really did look in the cockpit, and I say to that, bravo. So.
And if it was a woman, I would have had to come up and say, "Sweetheart, I can take it over. Back. Go sit in my seat. It can't be that hard. I'll figure it out."
Can you bring me a drink, please?
Yeah, I like with no ice in my soda, please, and cookies, not pretzel. That's a joke, guys. It's a joke.
And hey, and if you are a female pilot, just tell me you went to one of the service academies because I do know you will have gotten trained really well. But other than that, mainly all this DEI crap and the not great pilot training.
And please, yes, don't write in and say they're against female pilots. No, I'm against bad female pilots and bad male pilots.
Thank you.
And bad LGBTQ pilots. Hey, if you're gay and trans and you can fly a plane, get up there. Otherwise, get me my drink.
If I walked in a plane and saw Allison in the cockpit, I'm getting out as fast as possible.
I would too. I don't blame you.
You'd be great.
Y'all, I got to find an allegedly story. I got to decide what I'm going to do. Do y'all know?
Uh-huh.
You have yours?
I don't know.
I got mine.
Figure it out.
Oh, okay. Allegedly is on the other side. We'll be right back.
You know, you've got different personalities in your family. And I think moving forward, I'm extremely excited about tomorrow. I really am, because I think it's going to be something that our state has never seen before. The leadership in this body, and then also leadership in our party, we are literally going to bridge that gap that literally we have never seen before. And I just cannot wait till it happens.
So, staying with you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick. Sorry.
Next time we're gonna be sure and get you a smaller microphone.
That's okay.
The only thing that would have made it better is like a little fuzzy dice, you know, making it look like that.
I think it's supposed to sit on top of it.
It is. And
Can y'all not afford those either, man? Come on.
we can. This turned around so quickly, and we're so glad to be here that you gotta, you know, we're making do.
Yes.
Okay. These are awesome. I've always wanted these little lapel mics. I'm just saying. Why did you want to run for GOP chairman?
Yeah, so it never was on my radar, to be honest. I don't personally believe in titles. I believe in making an impact, the biggest impact I can. And there were certain things that took place after several phone calls and laying in bed. My wife and I were just talking about, and you know, your spouse is your best friend, and you talk about things with her. And she looked and she said, I think you would be a really good party chairman. Like, that's in your wheelhouse. And I was like, I think I would like that, you know, and prayed about it. And honestly, once I decided to run, and literally everything was falling in place, you know, and that's why I feel like when you're on God's path, things just naturally happen. You're not fighting against the grain on things. But that's really it. It wasn't on my radar whatsoever. And when we decided to do it, everything just literally fell in place. And I knew it was God's plan for me to do this.
I guess we touched a little bit about some of the things that under your leadership have happened in the House: tax cuts, school choice, tough on crimes law, DEI bans, transgender sports ban. Am I missing anything else?
China. You're missing a lot. Yeah. Being property from, you know. Yeah, absolutely.
So do you feel like some people in Alabama have lost sight in all the hubbub and all the chatter that's going on? And what are your priorities for the rest of this session? And maybe, I know y'all plan ahead. It catches me off guard every time. Like, if we're not planning 2 years ahead, y'all have beat us in our, you know, kind of what we want to lobby for in Montgomery. What do you see coming next quadrennium as well?
Yeah, I think you're right. First of all, the first part of your question, I think, you know, it's almost because of the social media and the world we live in today, it's changed. It's almost about what we've done today instead of what we've done over the past quadrennium. And Scott's right. I mean, if you Google the most conservative legislative body in the country, it's going to come up Alabama's number one. And it's because of the bills that you mentioned, a lot of them. I mean, the tax cuts has been $1.5 billion in the last 4 years alone. We've had a tax cut in every session. We got one this session on overtime. So, I mean, it's been a good 4 years. Our body has worked extremely hard. We got good men and women that serve. And Scott was talking about the reason he run for the chairman. I mean, the reason I got in leadership was because we were going through the turmoil when I first got elected, as you remember, with the Hubbard and all that went on with him and the governor and even the Supreme Court justice. That was all at one time within a few months of each other. So the reason I ran at the time is because some of the best people I had ever met, I served with in the House of Representatives. And I thought, you know, if we can give them a platform where we can show the kind of people they are and let people know we serve with good people, and we really do. I mean, Scott and I are both the same way. I mean, there's not a place that I go in this state that I can't pick up the phone and say, listen, my car is broke down. Can you come and help me? And I promise you, within just a period of time, you'd have help from somebody. So that was my intent in getting in and running for leadership to begin with. So I think those people are still serving. You know, some of the faces change as we go forward. But, you know, our state has been blessed. I mean, we have had the most successful run in economic development in the state's history. You know, we're in the top 5 in shipbuilding, automobiles, airplanes, and now being a Lawston and with the submarine. I mean, we've never seen that before. Research, we're in the top 5. Agriculture, we're actually number 2. I mean, our state is moving at a pace that we have never seen before. And I think sometimes we always wonder what we can do next. But I think we also got to look back and celebrate what we have done too.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk, because it's happening very soon. The closed primary bill came through Matt Simpson's committee. What is the bill exactly, and what are the plans for it?
Yeah, I don't mind talking on this one at all. I think I'll let you talk about the plans for it, and I'll just kind of discuss. So I watched it because we had a public.
Welcome back to the Right Side. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. Tomorrow we have Catherine Engelbrecht coming on from True the Vote to talk about election integrity and other things.
Should we go ahead and preview? Should we say it?
We can. You want to?
Say what?
It's radio theater, JP. You have to wait.
Okay, so our friend, a longtime friend, is Greg Phillips. And you may have seen a very unfair People magazine article about him. He was in DC helping with FEMA and behind the scenes getting them together. And then they took a swipe at him by not telling his whole story about his cancer journey. So we're going to be talking about that too, because he can't talk about it, but we can. Is that fair? And
yeah, I mean, he and Catherine worked together on 2,000 Mules, True the Vote. They have been friends. We have been friends with both of them forever. We've known Greg for a long time, and we'll cover all that. But he recently was in the news for his conversation and what they were kind of coming at him with about his teleporting to a Waffle House. So we're going to ask Catherine, because it was on their podcast where he discussed this incident of teleporting to Waffle House. So we're going to talk to Catherine about that tomorrow. And a ton of stuff going on in election integrity world in the United States, and generally just catch up with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's involved in so much. She's very interesting, very smart, very talented, loves Jesus, and we will have a great conversation with her.
Can't wait. And then we have, is it Troy or Mike?
Tomorrow is also Mike Ferris
from the National Religious Broadcasters to talk about what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel. And that's going to be an interesting conversation and what their plans are with that lawsuit. So it's going to be a big day. And then we'll tell you tomorrow who's coming on Friday. This will make you smile, and you're going to want to share this. That's all. Radio theater.
It's going to be huge.
Okay, guys, are you ready for one of the best days of the week? You ready? It's time for Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay, y'all two have been giggling. So which one of you is first?
Virgil Clutis always goes first.
Virgil Heath.
Virgil
Heath.
That's right.
Yes, I can go first. Mine's a doozy.
Okay.
It's kind of continuing on a thread because this story will not die. It keeps getting better. It's the gift that keeps on giving. No pun intended when I tell you the story. So if y'all remember the big story with
Mike Vrabel.
Patriots coach Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And his 6-year-long affair with Rossini, the journalist. And it kept coming out more and more pictures, more and more videos of them kissing in a bar and going to casinos together, and all allegations about Rossini's son named Mike. It's a whole TMZ expose 101. Well, he was seen in public yesterday, and allegedly he was buying gifts for his wife as a makeup gift. You see him, he's looking at women's clothing. He's in a store with bags in his hands. So it looks like he's out and about trying to make things right. getting his wife a hoodie, I guess. I don't know.
It's cute.
But perhaps he is trying to get his, I love how they put the picture there of him kissing Rossini while he's looking muffled and trying to make things right. Looks like that's a man trying to get out of the doghouse right there.
Clueless. He is not kissing Rossini. She said, "Do I have anything in my teeth?"
Oh, he said, "Let me look."
And he said, "Let me look."
Let me look.
And she said, "Okay."
Hey, maybe he missed her lips. I know it can happen. Okay, I know it can happen. Trust me, a brother knows. All right, but however,
he was just biting her nose.
Yeah, he was just exactly. Ain't no kissing there. I will say this though. Somebody said it's going to be a rude awakening when Mike Vrabel goes to the store and buys a hoodie in Rossini's size and not his wife's size. But
Oopsies.
let me ask you this: as the two heifers or ladies on the panel, how would you react in this hypothetical situation if you found out your husband was having a 6-year-long affair and he wanted to make it up and get out of the doghouse with a hoodie? Would that do the trick? How would you let him off the hook?
I would take that hoodie. I would throw it around his head. I would tie it in a knot and I would use it to drag him outside and say goodbye. And then I would have the locks changed. And also all his clothes would be in the front yard. Now, if he happened to come home with a very big diamond, I may be willing to talk. But he wouldn't do that. So it's fine.
I just want to know how they know that's for his wife and not for her.
It's true.
Oh, not for Rossini?
Yeah.
It's
How
a
do you
good
know?
point.
Hold on. Look at his face. That's a man right there on the top left that is going through it. Okay.
Is that what that looks like?
That's I am fighting for my life. I need to get out of this doghouse.
Yeah,
Look right there.
If he was smarter, he would have bought her. He would have bought like a better purse up there.
Yeah, look at those leather handbags.
And here she's just getting her a hoodie. What is that? But see, the reason why I think it's for Diana is because apparently they don't like being followed, but they also don't like being broke up. And they're never very far apart. And so he probably got her that hoodie so she could cover her face during all their escapades and shenanigans. And that way nobody's going to see her face.
And you pull it over.
And you just pull it over your head like you're a child and you don't want to be seen. And see, it's thin enough where she can see through it and just walk around with her head down just like that.
Just this part. Is
Yeah, just like that. Just right there.
So he can check a teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just leave this part.
That's where that's the target area.
Yeah, that's where you're aiming for. But
anywho, well,
he's trying to gain back trust with a hoodie, allegedly.
Well, it's funny, Virgil, that you bring up the footballs because allegedly a man credits Giants kicker Young Ho Koo for saving his life. Young Ho Koo is a kicker for the Giants and he plays the footballs. And he says that kicker, he botched a field goal attempt against the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Our stories are related.
It's interlinked.
We didn't even plan it.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, Mark Toothaker.
That cannot be his real God-given name. Is that his real government name? Oh, his name is Mark Toothaker. Wow.
The story has to do with Mark Toothaker and Young Ho.
Young Ho.
Anyway, Mark Toothaker of Lexington, Kentucky says he believes Koo saved his life. Do you know how? Well, show the whiff.
Okay.
We have video of this whiffed kick of the Young Ho.
This was last year. Boom.
Oh,
Completely missed the ball.
Oh, Young Ho going down. He's going down. Oh, where is it? Oh,
bless his
Now
heart.
that is a man that's in aura debt right there. It's gonna take him years to recover from that aura debt.
He probably wanted to be effervescent in that evanescent.
He wanted to be in the band.
He wanted to be evanescent in that moment. Disappeared.
Well, guess what happened after he hit that ground so hard with his toe?
He hit it with his face.
I don't know, but Mark Toothacher says he laughed so hard that it made him have a seizure.
What?
Yeah, he said that made him laugh so hard he had a seizure. He said, I ain't never felt anything like it in my life. It felt like I got electrocuted. So Toothacher was rushed from his home to the hospital, and following a CT scan, Toothacher says a tennis ball sized tumor was found on the side of his brain.
Oh no.
And the tumor was surgically removed, and there was no long-term damage. And so he says, that young ho saved my life, because it could have happened any other time. I wholeheartedly believe I was in the right spot at the right time. And if he hadn't have missed that kick and whiffed it, and I hadn't laughed so hard and had a seizure, I just would have kept going. And what if it had happened in a car? So, they say footballs is the devil, but this football saved his life.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows, it's Vrabel that young hoes can save your life, or maybe in this case, not save your life. But yeah, young ho obviously, saved this man's life.
Well, allegedly, football is good for something, says Mark Toothacher.
Is that man a dentist? He has to be.
He has to be a dentist.
Oh, he laughed so hard.
Toothacher.
Let me see.
Toothacher,
I wonder who
Vrabel.
won. Wonder who won that game.
I'll just say this: Young Ho Koo used to be the Falcons kicker, and he is the worst. So he didn't save my life. I'm glad he saved somebody's life out there.
But nobody's.
So bad.
Really.
But imagine being a kicker and you know that you saved somebody's life because you were so bad that somebody was laughing at you so hard because you're so bad at your job. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. It's like, thank you for being so bad. You saved my life.
Is there nobody better out there that they could get? Like, I mean, there's got to be other kickers down here at the Oak Mountains High School. I bet they're better than that.
I think I could do better than Young Ho.
I could do better than Young Ho.
I couldn't.
Could you kick the ball?
No.
If I put a ball in front of you, would you miss the ground and kick the ball?
No.
We should probably have a competition.
I would hit the air.
I have more faith in you that you could hit the ball.
I think you could hit the ball.
Have you seen me run?
Yes, I have. And I still believe in you because that's what friends are for. I have seen her run.
Yeah.
I have seen her run. It's okay. Okay, everybody. Since this was the day that we had follow-up, Clutus. Wait. Virgil, Heath, and Ophelia. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm Jovi Ray.
Come on, Jovi, bring it.
And I have an update. I have an update too. Okay, so going to tie it with a bow. And excuse me, I need to channel my mama's friend, Martha. Okay, here she is. So I have an update from New York City and that Ugandan Mom Donnie character. God. Y'all remember last week we told that story. You know, already they're going to have those crazy government-run grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Mom Donnie saying other kind of foolish stuff. And then he was knocking on doors. Just like that, saying, "Can I inspect you? I am here with the inspection panel, and we're going to go look through some homes." It does sound wrong. And it's wrong coming out of my mouth, but then it's even wronger if you consider what he was doing. Well, but remember, even after that, he said that dumb pied-à-terre tax where he stood in front of that man's house. Y'all remember?
Ken Griffin.
The what?
The pied-à-terre. Okay? That means a fancy house that Ken Griffin, he paid $230 million for that house, the penthouse on the 55th floor. And he even stupidly, that Ugandan Mom Donnie, he said, I am in front of Ken Griffin's home. He doesn't even live here. The problem, though, with them communists is sometimes they do things so stupid, even the people that voted for them go, that wasn't real good.
Mm.
And that's what has happened. In fact, it seems that Ken Griffin, who's the CEO of the Citadel Group,
Oh, yeah.
he's a hedge fund leader. He's a CEO.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Think about how much money he makes if he can buy a $230 million mansion, 55th floor in Midtown Manhattan. Well, they were going to have a big old giant building project in Midtown Manhattan. And guess what they're doing? They're probably going to pull that. It was going to be like 20,000 jobs. Is a massive building project. And the Citadel Group said, hey, Ugandan Mamdani. Not so fast, fella.
He's from Uganda?
Yes.
Yes, he's from Uganda. You know, he got married at a compound and he had lots of guards and stuff, and it was very elaborate. But
Like,
we won't talk about that
Time
today.
out. Like he was born in Uganda?
Yeah, he's Ugandan.
Well,
He's a ruling elite.
well, I don't think of Uganda as being elitist.
Well, some people are. And it's like 5 people there, and they're in the ruling class, and they rich. So he's from a very wealthy family.
I thought he was Jeffrey Epstein's son.
I think he could be Jeffrey Epstein's son.
Didn't I read that?
Yes, you did. But I
Anywho.
just wanted to tell y'all that somebody prayed imprecatory psalms over Ugandan Mamdani and said, break his arm, make him stop. And it appears that the Citadel Group is having a hard look at pulling their project because of the dumb thing that Mamdani did, standing in front of Ken Griffin's house looking like a jealous, silly little man saying, we gonna tax the rich. And the rich man said, oh yeah, little feller? We'll see about that.
Tax this.
Tax these.
Tax D's.
Tax these nuts.
Abs.
Well, did you see the meth-infused squirrel called D's Nuts?
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's on
but
Instagram.
We are a classy show. We don't say things
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
There's a squirrel,
Yeah,
and
we
it's
just say
funny,
gung-ho
and it's on Instagram. Anywho,
Talk about making
that's
out in the 6th
update.
grade.
That's the update from New York City and Uganda Mamdani. Thank God for Ken Griffith and the Citadel Group saying, not so fast, fella.
Who would have seen it coming?
Allegedly.
We're all so shocked. I just never saw it.
It's a shocker.
Well, maybe he done did it.
I don't know if he done did it.
Maybe-
Time will tell. I do have one little addition to the story that maybe, our friend Grayson Everett. I do have a story I just wanted to throw out there,
Lord.
just real quick.
Is Grayson coming on?
No, Grayson's not coming
No,
on. He
no,
is
we can't
far
do that
too
today.
serious for stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
I just wanted to put out there because we're good Southerners and we did want to throw in an Alabama story. I don't know if y'all saw this from 4 days ago, but did y'all know the SPLC in Montgomery is hiring?
Mhm.
After all the shenanigans of the last week, they seek a $500,000 CEO to inherit a legacy of conviction. And I just wanted to put that out there because I wondered, SPLC, do y'all know what y'all did?
Well,
But they need a CEO.
can you read further? What do you
Yes,
what do you, like? Did the CEO got put in jail, or they just were currently without one? Or what is happening?
I'm so glad you asked,
Yeah, please tell me.
Ophelia. But the Yellowhammers report that less than 24 hours, remember this is 4 days ago, a federal grand jury returned an 11-count indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center. Less than 4 days after, 24 hours, 5 days ago. The SPLC, the nonprofit, posted a job listing for a new CEO, but they forgot to mention the part about the federal charges. The listing went live Wednesday, that's last week, on Daybook, a progressive job board. Salary, Allison, JP, maybe we should apply, $450,000 to up to $525,000. Location,
Yeah.
Montgomery, Atlanta, or other major well-connected southern cities. And it says that the CEO, this is kind of a ridiculous thing, y'all, will inherit a legacy of courage and conviction. It reassures
Conviction.
applicants that the job is not subject to any strenuous physical demands or dangerous conditions because they hid from the public that they had paid off the KKK, so they're no longer coming after them. So what it does not say is all that happened last week with Todd Blanche and those charges and all the allegations. Instead, no, like the tone-deaf ding-dongs that they are, paying off everybody to get their dirty work done, they decided they needed a new CEO.
Well, they lost all their Klansmen, so they're hiring new Klansmen as well. It's bring your own hood to the job interview and the tryout. They're doing Klansmen tryouts because they lost all.
Well, what's funny, you say that because at the bottom of this article, I almost missed it, but the listing makes no mention of interim CEO Brian Fair or why his title starts with interim, and it skips Margaret Huang's 2025 resignation, the 92% no confidence vote from unionized staff, the 80 layoff, the $13 million deficit, or the $40 million revenue drop on last year's Form 990. But they're going to hire them a high dollar CEO.
Did you say hoodie?
Huang. Her name was Huang.
Yeah, but they need hoodies.
Yeah.
Bring your own hood.
Is that what Mike Vrabel was doing? Was he buying a hoodie?
My Vrabel applying to the SPLC.
I mean, he
as a
might
Klansman?
be. Yeah, he might get fired. Now, I don't think they wear blue. I
Not
don't know.
usually, but these days you don't even know.
Well, speaking of jail, I got a little update. Have you? She's really excited about this. Actually,
You said jail.
You will love this one. I can't remember. Joe V. Ray. You're going to love this. Nick Sorda in Fox News are reporting that a former senior advisor to Anthony Fauci, you remember the science himself?
Oh, yeah.
Has been indicted for his role in the COVID-19 cover-up. And they're hoping that he throws Anthony Fauci under the bus, literally and figuratively. David Morans, not moron, and his co-conspirators falsified records in an effort to suppress the lab leak theory and used his personal Gmail account rather than his NIH email in order to avoid being FOIA'd. That's the Freedom of Information Act. I guess it's a adjective now.
FOIA.
A verb. You can be FOIA'd.
I will FOIA your rear end.
Yeah.
I love that.
You right to jail. Anywho, hopefully science is next.
I hope so. That's great news. Could you give a little sound effect, please?
Here's one.
How about
Thank you.
that? We've been waiting on that.
For a very long time.
If we got a little bit more time, I got one more allegedly.
Oh, yes, sir.
If we're gonna do a round two,
I just couldn't
Oh,
help it.
yeah,
I
we
just
did.
needed an update. But this jail story is real good. So please, sir, please share.
I didn't see this till yesterday, but allegedly, Travis Kelce done had enough of Swift.
No.
Allegedly, the engagement is off.
No. Wait, are you serious? I
I-
got to come out of character. This is serious.
I'm as serious. Yes,
JP.
I'm serious.
Oh, wait, I'm looking at. Please share the screen.
Yeah, let me pull it up. and
Did
I'll
you
share
see
the screen.
Jason Kelsey was at the Pale City Waffle House?
I wish I would have been there.
I did.
Speaking of,
He's a big dude.
Here, let me.
Greg Phillips there too.
Yes. That's the one he was at.
Anywho, let's see. Well, here's
We joke.
Oh,
Here's TMZ yesterday. Taylor Swift is out on the town with her pops in New York City, breaking bread amid rumors she's getting married to Travis Kelce this summer in the Big Apple. That's TMZ. But here is a report. Reports claim that Taylor Swift has ended her engagement to Travis Kelce by returning the ring, explaining she needs more time to focus on her mental well-being and career. Sources say that because she failed to win.
wow.
I don't think that part's true. However, the reports The reports are out there. They haven't been confirmed yet.
Wait, there was something about smoking the ganja. Keep going down.
Please hold. I'm also going to look up.
Why
too.
is Taylor? Wow.
This is February 16th.
Oh,
of
okay.
2024.
That's old. That's old. There they are. So in love.
Anywho, I don't know. This is why it's allegedly, because this is alleged. But the reports and rumors are out there.
The Cosmopolitan is the magazine my mama didn't ever let me read, but they say that Travis Kelce just unintentionally debunked a rumor about his and Taylor Swift wedding. So I don't know.
What do you mean he unintentionally debunked?
Let's see. There's been a lot of speculation about if they're getting married this year. They haven't weighed in on any of the reports, but Travis just debunked. He said he confirmed that his and Jason Kelce's podcast will celebrate the start of the World Cup with a live show in Los Angeles. We're taking our talents out west. So it looks like they're going to do a podcast about soccer. Because the podcast is happening on June 15th. So we're all assuming his wedding date ain't June 13th.
Oh, so the rumor wasn't that they were calling it off. It was that the wedding date was on June 13th, but you can't, well, I guess you could do a podcast 2 days later, but I bet Taylor wouldn't really like it.
I don't think she'd like it either. Because
That's not
where do
the
you
way you
honeymoon when you are gajillionaires?
Space?
Probably.
Epstein Island.
That's exactly right.
The moon?
They could have broken up. That's interesting.
Well, I'll just end with this. Travis Kelce, if you're listening to me, run for your life. Don't do it. Do not do it. I'm trying to help a brother out.
All the money in the world.
Ain't worth. You got money. You don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
And if she needs more time to focus on her mental health, if that is true, she's going to be like single forever and never get married.
That's where the mental health issues come in.
Oh, you're right. That's
it's
so
not gonna
logical.
Get better, Taylor.
It's not. Just if you love him, marry him, make it work. It's that simple. Never going to be perfect. But however, you're saying run. So we're going to pay attention because sadly it's Taylor Swift and maybe secretly we watch out with what they do. Okay. Sorry I said it.
She wrote my theme song, Ophelia.
She did write your theme song.
It's after me.
Obviously.
Showgirl.
I do have some would you rathers.
Ooh. Do we have to do them like this? Don't make that face, JP. I need you to stop.
Everything okay?
I really need you to stop.
Hell yeah, everything's okay. Let's see. Would you rathers? Are we gonna do it in these voices?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's turned on now. We can't stop. I promise. I leave here and I go order lunch just like this. I go to the grocery store. Hey,
is that Ophelia?
Just talking like this.
Would you rather live to 100 with a lot of regrets or die in 20 years with no regrets? I got my answer.
What's your answer?
Die in 20 years with no regrets. For sure.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, I might be a little funny because I kind of think sometimes regrets are good because it means you're doing things. So let me think about this. What do you say?
I say I'm going to die at 100. I already told my kids I'm going to live to 100. And so they're figuring out who's going to look after me. And so I'd like to live. I already got a bunch of regrets. So what's a few more?
What's new?
So I'm going to go to 100. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You just wake up and you think, I
Jovi
can't even
Ray.
believe I'm still here. Doing dumb stuff.
Well, speaking of regrets, my husband, Jared, he always says if you have a choice, he's like, you know what? You should, if you're going to have regrets, regret doing something over regretting not doing something. Now, if it's illegal, that may change. But otherwise, just get out there and do, and you might not do well. And that's okay. You're doing something. That's your deep thought for the day as we go. And y'all, I also have to say, y'all make good choices. And stay on the right side, please, because we'll see you back here tomorrow. Toodles.